Get out of the kitchen. We're making rice sticks. Apparently, I said that once to them when they were a little kid. And it goes hot grease, man. And they were little.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. This is probably the most dangerous thing I've done all week. This is my cousin Leah. And I'm sure a lot of you, because there's only about 17 people that watch this shit, that know who Leah is. Downtown Catering Company, Downtown Delhi. You've been also doing a lot of advocacy stuff for the with all of our contagion and stuff going on. What are you doing right now?
The Hungry Heart Restaurant Worker Relief Fund. We're feeding restaurant workers who are out of work right now for free.
And it's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. We're putting money back into the restaurants because we're buying them their meals at 40 different places in the town. It's been
How
pretty
many?
Cool. 40 different restaurants in Beaufort County.
Jesus.
We spent $20,000 last week alone just in area restaurants.
I mean, that really makes what we're doing here, what I'm doing, pathetic. Really, when you think about it, it's really all about me. Gonna make rice sticks, and this is an old family recipe, and there's a backstory to this recipe. Now, I call my Aunt Anna Mae. Now, Anna Mae is 94 years old. When she was a kid, right, my grandmother, right?
Our grandmother.
Our grandmother. She's mine first. My grandmother, oh, by the way, we're cousins.
It's our grandmother.
Rose Figlamini, Judge Managano, Maongano. How do you pronounce it?
Mangano.
Mangano. That's the Irish in me. I mentioned this before when I was doing the lasagnas. It's the Irish in me. But he's from New York. He was a judge. He was connected.
It's my mother's godfather.
Right.
Right.
He is your godfather.
Judge
and
Mangano.
One day they sat down and they made this this rice stick recipe, and it's from Sicily, and it's called arancini?
Arancini.
Arancini. All right, so those are my notes.
Which is typically made in a ball in a restaurant, but we make them in sticks.
And when we were in Venice, we found them, and they were balls. And I was like, this is just like the rice sticks.
Right.
But they're not sticks.
I think the sticks are good because when you eat them, the cheese just melts out, where the ball, you kind of have to cut it.
Yeah,
this is like
it's a lot of
different-
work.
It's too much.
This is way better.
Sometimes they add peas, and that's just disgusting.
All right, so when you're making one of these things, there's a process, and it's going to be I'll put it over you. It'll be right here. All right. These are the ingredients and stuff. It's a pound of cooked rice. It's a cup of mashed potatoes, and I have mashed potatoes right here. But the thing of it is, if you don't want to sit there and make mashed potatoes because you want to make rice sticks, it seems like you have to do something to do something. Instant mashed potatoes will work just as well.
Easy.
And honestly, I'm looking at the two of them. We might actually just go with these suckers.
Those look pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So
These are a little lumpier, which I think the smoother the better.
When I held it up, I noticed that I just missed some shit. There was a lump of potato right there in my potatoes. I'm going to put that right there. Hopefully you can see that. So we're just going to, they're good.
Yeah, we're going to switch this
We'll
out.
go to the instant.
These are smooth.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to chunk a potato.
You really can't chunk some powder, right? All right. So anyway, so we got our mashed potatoes, and we're going to do 1 cup of those, and it is a ½ teaspoon of basil and 3 teaspoons of parsley, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of salt and pepper. And she goes, to taste.
To taste.
That's like what she said, a pinch of vanilla. When I did the cookies, All right. And then a heaping cup of freshly grated Italian cheese. And she used Romano and Parmesan. I like using just Parmesan. And it's a fresh cut thing of Parmesan. We've already got a jump start on that. Leah's already got also jump start on cutting up the mozzarella, because when you make these rice sticks, we're going to take that cheese, we're going to place it in there. We baste it with some egg white, roll it in some cracker meal. This stuff.
That's key. You have to have cracker meal, and you can only find it on Amazon anymore.
Right. I went to all the supermarkets multiple times, can't get it. And that was, risking my life because nobody practices social distancing. We've all been completely disinfected. We deloused Leah on the porch before we let her in the house, and we know that she's been quarantined 14 days before this video.
It's true.
Yeah. And but this shit is the real stuff. You can't make these without cracker meal.
No
I've
Ritz.
tried it when I couldn't. I got Ritz and I put them in a blender, and I'm thinking I'm all clever. Dog shit.
Dog shit.
They were terrible. All right, so you got to have the real cracker meal. Okay, so let's get started on this thing. First
so
things
we're gonna
first.
mix.
We have our mix, and how we got to measure out a cup of this. There should be a 1 cup over there.
1 cup.
All right.
Do you have a spoon?
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I got a spoon.
It doesn't have to be
It's not what they said. The baking is science.
Because this
right?
is a pound of rice, and we both went like this.
Yeah, that's not a pound of rice. There's a little bit more rice. There's a couple pounds here.
Yeah, we might need to add more potatoes. That's good.
Or I could
Add
dump
that.
some rice.
No.
We'll figure it out. We're just gonna dump all this. It's fine.
It'll work. It really
And then
doesn't matter.
we have to add, okay, again, here's the important thing, like, don't go over, like, I did fresh basil. I always do fresh basil if I have it in here, but it's a half a teaspoon of basil. I always use a teaspoon of basil. So I mean, like more than a teaspoon of basil.
gotcha.
Like a pinch of vanilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just throw some in. All right, so we have that, and then we have 3 teaspoons of parsley, and I already chopped that shit up and put it in there when I did the rice.
on the rice.
All right,
Right.
so we're good on that stuff.
Garlic powder.
Garlic powder. We have to add the garlic powder. How much is that?
That's key, and not garlic salt either.
No,
'cause
this
that
is
was another
garlic
thing.
powder.
Yep.
It's important to make sure you have the right stuff. There it is there. I got 3 cameras. Hey. Okay, so what are we gonna do with this one?
All right, we have to add that in here, and that's a 1/4 teaspoon, or
do
just
we
do
got?
a couple shakes.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, just shake it up.
My God, that was a lot.
So after you mix that up,
And again, this was another argument we had before we started because I wanted to put the mixer out here. I always throw mine in my Mix Master with my fancy
No.
lettering on it.
No,
That my
old
wife spent all
school.
that time, and then we could give them a plug and tell them about how wonderful the
yeah, you
cricket
did
thing
that
is.
with the, no.
So we're done with that.
We're done with that.
All right, so I have to do this by hand. That's a pain in my ass.
So I always, I'm not risky like you. I saw how fancy you crack your eggs. I can't do that.
Well, you know, that's from
Because you need a whole egg in this
one
mix too.
whole egg gets added in. And then we have to separate
Right.
some whites.
5
right?
more.
But we still got to get those 6
and the
yolks.
whites.
And we save the whites over there.
Right,
So how
okay.
many we got going?
All right, that's,
We're like bathing in salmonella now. COVID has no chance because of all the salmonella.
all right, that's 2 yolks.
That's 3 yolks.
No, that was the whole egg.
Motherless.
Rewind, I'm telling you.
All right.
Now you're gonna get me all messed up.
No,
though.
you're fine. Trust me.
All right, so that's 1, 2. You got 3. All right.
So that's 3
So
there.
there's also a math lesson. Yeah.
So there's
that's
4.
Ooh.
Whoa.
All right. Can we just do this?
Yeah, we're just doing that.
All right.
There we go. And again, I always
have it,
use
please.
fresh Parmesan. After I saw that special on the news about the wood chips and all
Oh,
that pulp and
terrible.
all the crap in there, just get the chunk of Parmesan. And actually, in the long run, I swear to you, it's cheap.
Oh, it is cheaper and
Oh.
it's so much fresher.
So those are egg whites, right?
Right.
So that's what we're going
But
to
we
use.
don't want them to be.
When we get into the whole, we get a little sidetracked, but the when we get these things pieced together, right? We baste them in the egg whites, and then we roll them in the cracker meal. So
Yep.
I'm going to give you the cracker meal, and you can get that all set. And
So
I
you're
got-
working on the mix. So again,
Yeah.
we have the seasoned rice, the potatoes,
Yep.
1 whole egg and 5 egg yolks, and the Parmesan cheese, fresh Parmesan cheese. The seasonings again are garlic powder, basil, parsley, salt, and pepper.
It's actually getting there. Looks right.
Yeah,
man.
it looks pretty good.
This is the part where I get happy. Because if I've done it to here and it looks like the way it's supposed to look, I'm like, all right. Otherwise, I throw the shit out and we do a frozen pizza and we're done.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, all right, cool.
It's a little eggy though, I think.
It is a little eggy.
I think we need to add more rice.
I know.
That's the best part of the family recipes is reading things in between there.
One more time, and again, I'm going to put them up over her. The 1 pound of cooked rice, 1 cup of mashed potatoes, 1/2 a teaspoon of basil, which is bullshit. Use a tablespoon of basil. 3 teaspoons of parsley, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste, a heaping cup of fresh grated Italian cheese. We use just Parmesan. You can add some Romano. Separated eggs, 1 whole egg, a 1/2 pound of mozzarella, which we have already set over here.
I think this is really good.
Yeah, it looks great, and I want to just hold, do you see that camera right there? Hold it up so they can see it in that camera. That looks really, really good.
Yeah,
We
consistency.
threw the directions out the damn window. It's a ballpark, right? If you get it looking like that, you are ready to rock and roll with these things. So now it becomes kind of an assembly line. The first thing we do is we re-up.
Is we drink.
Yeah, just a
Now
little bit
Ryan always yells at me and says, one hand for wet, one hand for dry. I
Right.
can't ever do it.
No, me either.
I'm a disaster.
I keep a towel over my shoulder and I just go as I go. All right.
Sometimes our family, you're like, you want to come over for dinner? I'm tired. We made rice sticks.
I'll
and
see you
then-
in 20 minutes.
See you in 20 minutes.
All right. So I get the cheese like that, push it in the middle, you fold it over. You don't want any of that stuff sticking out. That's the important stuff like that. And then it gets basted with the egg. You just roll it in that cracker milk, coat it even. And then they're ready to go in. Beautiful.
It's
So
a
you
stick.
see the cracker meal is really fine. You can't even really see it on there. We're gonna do enough to fill a pan first. Yeah, Ritz cracker does not get like that.
Make a stick.
Yes, dear. My wife and I don't spend a
Sticks.
lot of time together. You remember that scene in Ghost,
Ghost.
where they, yeah, you know where I was going, right? If you look and you see the cheese sticking through like that, that's gonna make a mess.
Can I take this?
Yeah, you're ready to rock and roll.
So I take 2 spoons, roll them around, make sure they're golden brown on each side. They're not quite there yet, so we're gonna wait a couple seconds. Always make sure you have salt ready. When they come out of the oil, that's the best time to salt your ingredients.
Oh, I have your salt right here, but I
Yep,
don't want to touch it because
perfect.
I'm all grody.
Yep.
There you go.
Grody to the max.
1980s flashback. You're welcome.
Oh, here we go. We're getting brown. Now here's a little trick. So when you take anything out of oil, whether it's like a chicken cutlet or rice stick, don't take it all out and then add cold to it. You want to take a hot one out, add a cold one in. A hot one out, add a cold one in, because you don't want the temperature of your oil to drop.
We're cooking with raw egg. Now Leah likes to put hers in the oven. She finishes them off in the oven for the last few minutes. I never do it. I fry them up, I let them cool, and I eat them. And as long as we, get them all nice and golden brown, there's a pretty good chance you won't have salmonella. And again, important, when you start taking these things out, she is going to salt them. It's important.
Salt immediately. You gotta
'cause
salt them.
It's still got some of that fresh grease on there
Yep,
before it all starts to
soaks right
dry
in.
out. You really want to salt them then. This is the greatest thing you're going to make all week. Your family will love you. Your kids will respect you again. Make these frickin' rice sticks. That's how good it is. As you can see here on the stove, they're coming together absolutely gorgeous.
So nice.
And you can see here on this plate, oh my God, look at this. I'm gonna show you some pretty shots. This was amazing. This is my cousin Leah. She's doing great things for the folks in Bluff.
Thank
you really are.
you.
Everybody's
Thank you.
helping out. This
Thank
is
you. Yeah,
awesome.
it's awesome.
You keep support. Order frickin' takeout, all right? But on the nights you don't, make this shit. It's really good. You're gonna love it. And I wanna thank
fun.
my wife for coming out and helping with the assembly line.
Yes, couldn't do without you, Missy.
This would have been a disaster.
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 You saved the rice sticks.
Really, I lost my drink.
Last one. Are they all rolled?
These things are just a conduit to get salt into your body.
Look at the cheese.